You're gonna want to hear this. The following is guaranteed to knock your ears right off. Not intended for the faint of heart.
You're Talk To It.
I'm Pookie.
You don't even know the Talk To It girl's name.
I'm Haley, actually. Her name is Haley.
Do you know her favorite food?
Do I know her favorite food?
Yep.
Me.
Oh.
Well, she's my favorite food. I don't know if it's reciprocated.
Or Poochie Manana? Like, that is so
Her little-
You're too close. Back up a little bit.
No, I like
get a little
I like
closer.
being right.
You're like peeking so much. Well, we're on.
back
This is the Lounge Around podcast with your host Liam Saranich with my co-host Matt
Hello.
and special guest Nick.
Hello.
Hello, Nick. What college are you from? Tell us about yourself. What's going on?
So right now I'm attending Mitchell College. So it's down in New London, Connecticut.
Yeah.
I'm a college baseball player.
Yeah.
So I went there for baseball. Currently a sophomore. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
In terms of the college.
Awesome. What's your major?
I'm a psych major and a
Psych.
criminal justice minor.
Psych and criminal justice. So he's gonna arrest you after this.
What are you looking to do?
So ideally the DEA, so the Drug Enforcement Agency.
Oh, there you go.
So it'll keep me both physically active
And you know what? That kind of we have questions that go into that a
We do.
little bit. You saw that, right?
Of course I did.
Well, tonight's a special night, Matt, and you know why?
What is that?
Because you're debating him actually.
Oh my god.
Our first debate,
He
you
hasn't been
versus
served a lot.
versus Nick. Now, I've heard a lot of praise from other people from Mitchell College, specifically Professor Booker, who's been on this show before, talking about how this guy will debate anything and take any side of any argument.
That is super. That is alpha. Like honestly, like when people would come up to me and be like they'll be like, yeah, incest is like wrong.
What?
And I'll be like,
So
I'll be like, hold on. I don't know if you know,
in a way, we're all a product of incest.
right?
But you know the term
Where's my
devil's,
hat?
you know the term
Oh, there it
devil's
is.
advocate. That's me. I am a devil advocate.
You're Satan's advocate.
Correct.
Yeah, Nick will take any side that you don't take, but I feel like you guys might agree on some stuff, and that's
No,
okay.
there's no way.
There's no way.
Nope.
Well, if you do agree, that's okay too.
I will force feed a different opinion. into my
Okay.
mind. Just
Great. Thanks, Finn. Finn's also here in the studio.
Hi guys.
Hey, and
he
Finn's
doesn't
going to
get a
sit on the
microphone.
sidelines. We have other people come in soon and watch and spectate. We'll probably have spectators jump in a little bit if they want to say something. Does that sound good with you?
He's flossing.
Yeah,
right
he's.
Does that
in his
sound
own
good with
world.
now.
you?
He is playing.
Okay,
Fortnite.
great. He listened.
Nothing intelligent to say.
Well,
Yeah, that
if
sounds
you have a
right.
question on top of the question that someone says, you could probably jump in if you want. Cool? Awesome. Great. Do you guys want to just get on into it, or you guys ready? He's got his
if you-
notepad and
He has a
pencil.
notebook.
Yeah, he takes notes.
Yeah.
Because
Why?
Right here?
because
I'm gonna be drawing
everything
a
you
smiley
say,
face.
everything you say, he writes down to go back to it, and
So if he violates my Fifth and Sixth Amendment,
basically,
we're gonna fight.
yeah,
Okay.
great. No, please fight him, beat him up.
Yeah.
He needs
He
it.
wouldn't have no chance.
He
his
needs
chance.
it.
His chance right here is not physical.
Yeah. So we broke into the debate thing up into different categories. So we're going to go over laws. It's basically the whole thing is basically morality and ethics, but specifically we're going to go into specific things like laws and morals and business ethics and also
animals, but there's
and
no,
animals.
Yeah,
I'm
wait,
going to get into that
yeah,
too.
Yeah.
I'm going to get into that
Let me
too.
get some animals in here.
We're going to talk about animals. Talk about specifically a little bit like
Moral
Treatment?
veganism.
yes, veganism,
zoos,
and stuff like that.
so not
Exactly.
furries.
Wait.
We can.
We can.
No.
If they define themselves as an animal,
You know who actually just came out as a furry?
Who?
Kevin Gates.
Who's Kevin Gates?
Kevin Gates wrote the song "Big Gangsta." So
Who's Finn? Who's Kevin Gates? Come up to this mic. Who's
he goes
Kevin
like,
Gates? You see the mic that's popped out?
Rolling around with them 31.
oh, that guy.
Who?
No slang.
Who is it?
Yeah, that's Kevin Gates.
Who is it?
Kevin Gates. He wrote that song "Big Gangsta." It was
don't-
all over TikTok.
I've never
4
heard of
years
that.
Ago. He's made some other music. but
What's
it's
the
not
song
good.
again?
Big
I'm
Gangsta.
a big gangsta. Run out and turn it on.
Never heard
All
of
right.
it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Just
be
say
honest.
you're uncultured.
I am
He's got a really
uncultured.
deep voice.
Yeah.
He made like really bad like judgment calls on
Oh, yeah.
some of the things he called people, and he
That's
got in
good.
trouble for it. Now
Yeah.
he's a furry. So.
So let's get right into it.
I'm gonna pull up his Instagram.
So let's get right into it, right? and just be honest as possible with how you feel about this stuff.
I don't lie.
And
That was
No lying.
that was a lie. Have a lot of it. This is Kevin Gates, by the way. Oh, that's actually
Yeah, let me see. Let me see his
Private
picture.
on Instagram.
Let me see his picture.
Where's Mr. Gates?
This is Kevin Gates' profile picture.
Never
It's
even.
him.
No
and
idea
his
who that
daughter,
is.
I assume. I feel like I can find a
He's
better
a furry?
Kevin Gates. He is now a furry.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No. Whoa.
Finn, what?
Are you
Bro
a
saying it's a
furry?
decent costume over there.
He might be a furry. This is Kevin. This is a better picture of Kevin Gates.
Okay. I
You
still have no idea who that
That's
is.
fine.
I'll show you a few more. Maybe it'll ring a bell.
No. All right.
I'm gonna start like pulling songs of Kevin Gates and just like reading you song titles.
All right. Let's get into it. Okay.
Yeah, you would know none of these.
No, probably not. So we're gonna jump around a little bit, so it's not gonna stay in one category a lot of time. But off the bat, I kind of want to get your guys' perspectives on your definitions of good versus evil, kind of thing like that. So we'll start with Matt, and then we'll go to Nick for this first one.
All right. So my meta-ethical position is a quasi-realist, which is a form of non-cognitivism, which basically says that any sort of moral statements are not truth statements, but are instead depictions of attitude. So say like somebody says like stealing is wrong. Instead, that actually means like boo stealing, right? It means and it's kind of an expression of your emotions, right? And what the quasi-realist, what the difference between non-cognitivism and quasi-realism is that when you're making these kind of statements, you they have a truth factor to it, but underlyingly speaking, there's nothing truthful about the statement. It's only emotional, right?
So,
basically, you could speak in sort of sentences that have or getting to a truth claim, which is like stealing is wrong, which is a truth statement.
Yeah.
But underlyingly speaking, would be an emotional statement.
I like Nick's. So, do you mind like dumbing that a little down for people that might not understand the big words you just said?
Just
like
the
this
theories.
guy.
Just explain the theory.
So, do you mind just like basically like you're the gist?
There's no, you can't have a moral claim.
Okay.
It's just all personal opinions.
Got
basically,
it. Cool.
That are emotional.
See, because I understand everything you said.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course.
All right. So that was Matt's definition. Nick.
So there is no definition of good or evil. It's all an interpretation. So basically, I'm not going to use no theories, and I'm not going to use it's all contextually. So he brings up stealing's bad, but it's not.
Yeah.
So stealing is 100% contextual. Like, are we going to punish a homeless man for stealing soup cans?
Okay.
Because he has to feed himself, he has to feed his family. No. Right? Like, it is that, but it's still stealing at the bottom line.
Yeah.
But are we going to punish somebody who commits grand larceny by trapping? You don't know what trapping is. It's a type of MO scam.
Yeah.
Like, yes, that's stealing, but is it evil if it's for benefit? And then we get into a conversation of like, all right, was Hitler actually evil? Yes, he was a horrible person, don't get me wrong. But in terms of his intentions, were his intentions good?
Yeah.
They could have been. So there really is a fine line, but it's all interpretation and it's situational, so there is no definition.
Yeah. Do you want to respond?
I think this is I think you're trying to take like ethical claims for this, right? But I think what it's trying to ask is like, is protecting life good? Like, is at the baseline of value judgments, right? When you're trying to say like, when you're trying to start a value tree, right? At the base of that, what actually makes something good, and then you can start from there. So like, what should you protect? You know, like I should value life, right? That's gonna be the basis of like my value tree, and then I'll build up from there. Like, oh, I can say like this is gonna be better for protecting life than this, and then you can get into the situational aspects, which is like the ethical part of it, right?
Which again is individual. So it's all an individual thing because you're understood. Like, if you want to talk about, you bring up that tree. Like, if we talked about that tree, you may value life. I don't as much.
So, yeah, you don't value life as much, but you'd say like, is life valuable? Like,
It can be.
It can be. What about to you? Is it valuable to you?
He's asking you.
I mean, like, that's what I mean.
Wait,
Like,
actually,
like,
kind of true.
like it can be, but it also can like be the opposite. Like you can bring value, but it's will you bring value?
Yeah.
So,
So, are
if
you're saying
don't, it's kind of like it's just a toss up.
yeah? So you're saying it's subjective preferences that determine whether or not somebody is valuing a certain aspect of something, right?
Which is why there's no true definition.
Okay. All right. So do you think like they're hinting at like truth claims within like there's a truthful aspect to whether or not I don't know actually murder is tautological. Maybe like killing is wrong or whatever. Killing in general is wrong. Do you think that there's like a truth statement with that? Or is it just like people expressing themselves?
Okay.
I'm gonna give you another answer. You're not gonna like it because I think that's situational. I think there is a time to kill. 100% there is a time to kill, and it is necessary to kill. So I don't necessarily think that killing or even murder is good or bad.
It just is.
I think it's just one of those things, as is everything, that just kind of can flip on both sides. So I think it's a spectrum rather than a definition.
All right. How about I give you I'll give you an example. Maybe like you'd say like obviously if I go and like murder like a random homeless person, you like did nothing wrong. Maybe he like said hi to me and I got really mad and I destroyed him. Okay. Would you say that's wrong?
I'd say yes.
Yes?
In that side of the spectrum, it's wrong. Because you're implying there's a finite definition of good and evil.
Yeah, but why would that be wrong?
Why is it wrong? Well, because there's no rhyme or reason. There's no malice. There's no understanding of like I need to kill him, or it was just I was bored so I killed him. Like that's wrong.
Well, why would that be wrong?
Why is that wrong? Because now we're taking a life for no benefit. We're doing something because there's no personal benefit.
So then, how about this? So then, the question should be like, is the human life like a beneficial life for everyone? Like, is there actual like a need for human life kind of thing, or is that sometimes like some people's lives are just meaningless and stuff? So.
To an individual, certain lives are meaningless.
Okay.
Like if somebody in California were to die right now, that doesn't change my life. If a soldier dies, it doesn't directly impact my life.
Yeah.
Well, it sucks, right?
Well, do you think humans have an innate value for to life and everything?
Yeah.
So you think people have an innate value to life, Matt?
No, we have to make it.
You have to make
we
it.
have to subjectively claim that they have value after. So basically, people can have descriptive claims on what is in the world. So say, I'm gonna do an example. Say it's raining outside, and that's just a descriptive claim. There's nothing moral about it. And then say Liam doesn't like to get rained on. Now, these are two claims. I can't have any moral proposition with this until I add a premise to either avoid pain and go towards pleasure. And I value pleasure at that point to where I build off like my philosophy of how I dictate my morals. Or if you don't add that premise in, then there's nothing that you ought to do, which ought is a duty or an imperative to do something.
Yeah.
Right? And as long as you have just descriptive claims, basically nothing could be right or wrong until you add that basically in.
Do you want to respond? What he said?
And he's not wrong. Like I mean, he gets it's a generalization, 100%. But I mean, it's not. It truly is what you make of a situation. Like, I don't like rain because I'm allergic to water. That's, all right, that's understandable. But it's just, I don't like rain. Okay.
Yeah, so should you go towards or away from pleasure? That's the leap in logic that you have to add into you have to add that premise in order for any sort of descriptive claim to be useful.
Well,
and
everything is always geared toward pleasure.
Well, that could be a presupposition, yeah.
Even what you brought up, I killed the homeless man because he made me mad. Well, your benefit, your pleasure was that you killed him.
Yeah.
He can't make you mad anymore. Now he can't make you mad. I just got rid of something that made me mad.
Yeah.
Good for me.
Yeah.
So everything's pleasure built.
Okay, so do you think it's right then to follow pleasure?
You have to.
You have at the basis of life.
It is the only way to make progress. Now, am I saying is it instant, like the concept of instant gratification versus delayed gratification? That's a whole different thing. But everything is geared towards pleasure and gratification.
Just because it's geared towards it doesn't necessarily make it right.
Correct.
So even obviously I could be geared towards like pleasure. Doesn't mean I should go and like shoot up heroin like all the time, like hedonistically, right?
Well, that gives actually a lot of people pleasure.
It gave me pleasure, but
Hey, you would like my cousin. She's still
What
going.
is
20 years she's been doing it. I'd argue that gives her a lot of pleasure. And she's willing to get rid of anything, like especially to get what she wants.
So we would basically at the start of this we presume pleasure is valuable, all right? So then we ask the question, why is pleasure valuable?
Because it's the ultimate goal. Like you brought up theories earlier.
Yep.
Self-actualization. That's always the ultimate goal. And that's reaching peak pleasure, happiness, satisfaction.
Yeah, but why is that the goal?
Why is that the goal? Because that's just how chemically we are built.
Chemically. So are you appealing to something like natural? Not like
well,
we're
I'm just
following-
saying as humans in general. It's the reason we do everything. That's just how it's always, that is down to the basis.
And then just because we've always done it doesn't mean it's right? You'd agree?
Situationally.
Situationally right or wrong?
Situationally, what your statement is just because we've always done it doesn't mean it's right. It's
situational. Like for just following pleasure, like just valuing pleasure, right? That in and of itself, we value pleasure because it's the ultimate goal. And the ultimate goal is valuing pleasure, because valuing pleasure is the ultimate goal. Like that, I feel like it's like it's circular, right? You have to start with something, which is
not necessarily. You can start with nothing and want everything.
In what way?
You can literally start with nothing. You can, especially for children who are born into, like a child that's born and is immediately put on the street or is put up away. They have not much, so they're put into a foster home. And then the foster home kicks them out or they run away. Now they're 10 years old. They're on the street. They have nothing, but they want everything. So they're going to go out. They're going to get everything. They're going to spend their whole lives saving for everything and getting everything. It's also the same thing with hoarders. It's the reason they keep everything.
Sorry, I keep tying that back into valuing pleasure. With like people wanting everything, right? Say it's instinctual. It's instinctual to value pleasure, right? I'd say.
Yeah.
Right. To have life is to then value pleasure. Doesn't make it right or wrong. It just is. Would you say? Would you agree with that?
100%.
Okay. So then, there is. So then, we have to then subjectively make our basis, and then build from there.
Which is interpersonal.
For basically value pleasure. Then you build off of there. I value meals because they make me pleasurable, and I value doing this because it makes me pleasurable, and I value like treating my family well because it all ties back. Okay, all right. So we both agree we're both moral anti-realists.
What? What is a moral anti-realist?
It's basically you don't think that there is a real or a real thing that you could point to outside of the subjective experience.
It's real, but it's
morally
interpersonal.
true.
It's real. The need to feel good is a real need.
Yeah, but you can't point to anything outside the subjective experience that is objectively there in order to claim that something is better than another thing. So say, like, for example, one human values, at the start of their value tree, they're like, I value killing people.
What?
Actually, hold on, I'll come. I value
This is
displeasure.
getting weird. We should question. You want to kill a lot of people.
It's in the back of my mind a lot, honestly.
You watch serial killer documentaries in your free time? I feel
My
like
mom does.
You watch plane crash documentaries. You're that guy.
Have you seen the missing flight 727?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's missing.
A horrible joke.
But basically, we can have conflicting ideologies at the basis where people start their value trees in a circular, logical.
Why can't it be a square? I like to pivot.
all right, we'll put it as a square.
I like to pivot because no, because that's actually a real point that I kind of made a joke, but now it's real. You need corners. It's not a continuous. It's not like a continuous function. It is 100% discrete. Life is 100% a discrete function.
Discrete.
It is a discrete and it is piecewise.
We got to the end of the value tree, right? We
Yeah,
got
and
to
it's death.
pleasure.
No. it's a never-ending cycle.
Never
It is
ending?
not a repetitive cycle. While it's repetitive intention, it's not a repetitive cycle.
Well-
Because something that made me feel really good can make me feel really crappy. It's like jerking off.
That makes you feel bad.
It could make you feel really good, but it can also make you feel really crappy immediately after.
Yeah.
Or like kicking a baby. Kick that.
Yeah, these are, wait, that only makes me feel good. Okay, don't use that example for me.
Well, because then it's like, oh, I kicked that baby, it stopped crying, but now it's crying again because I kicked it. Like, damn, I kicked that baby, but I got rid of my problem.
I know. We were talking about shaking babies in my
shaking
violence
babies
and relationship class.
Well, yeah, exactly. I beat my girlfriend. She stopped yelling at me. But now she's mad because I hit her. Like that's see now it's.
I know, I
repercussion.
can't
It's
do
not
anything
another
right.
cycle. Like that made me feel good. Like I like hitting people. I'm a boxer, so now I hit her. Why isn't she stopping?
Yeah.
So all
it
these
is
are
like,
all
there's
these
a
are
horrible,
going.
very real bad example of it, but it makes a great point. I promise I don't hit girls.
Only my girlfriend.
I don't have one. See, I would have to have one first.
That girl needs to shut up.
That's all.
I mean, what'd she do? But like,
It's never the answer. Violence is never the answer.
What?
Let's go into my notes.
Were you hit as a kid?
Was I hit as a
You
kid?
look like you were spanked.
I wasn't hit, but if you raise a hand at me, like I'll flinch. Like
I know it.
All right. Let's get
Yeah,
back.
we can move.
Let's get like back on track. So basically, we were talking about.
Oh, we never strayed.
yeah, no, that's all true.
Well, we were talking about what we started talking about was
Good versus evil.
and then we started talking about are people's lives like do people have
Valuable.
innate value to their life and everything. And
Define innate
like
for the guy over in the corner.
basically, that's like, do they have a right to life?
Oh.
Like, do that?
Yes.
There's
No, right?
Yes.
I hate.
Whoa, you don't have a right to live?
No.
Oh, so yeah, abortion.
well,
A
that
little
gets
late for
into a
that.
whole.
You have a right. Yes, 100%. You have a right to live. Is equal opportunity a thing? No. Is racism a thing? Yes. But like, so.
What?
Why did you laugh?
what? Hold on, continue.
Why did you laugh at
Oh,
racism? That was never do that again. But no, like you have a right to be a human being. There's a reason for that. Like,
So you're
Because-
taking the pro and you're taking the
you don't think you have a right to live?
and
I'm
you're
not saying
and so
you have-
Nick's taking pro
That's crazy.
Yeah.
and you're
Yep,
taking
I'm taking con.
con.
Yep.
Got it.
No right to life. Honestly.
What do you mean you don't have a right to life?
Well, all right. Think about this.
define life.
Define life. Conscious human experience.
What am I supposed to do? Choose if I was born?
No.
Can't.
You can't choose your born
Exactly.
because when you are actually when do you think the conscious or when do you think humans become like a human?
I'm not getting into this.
Okay, all right, fine.
When they're born.
When they're born.
When they're born. You're a human when you're born.
What about like
You can't be a human if you're not born.
what about like 5 minutes before? Like if I take
Alright,
that.
At that point, you're a little far gone. You are a
Really?
human.
Like
Of course
5
you're a human.
Yeah,
Once you
alright.
start the delivery
Alright.
process, even if it's premature, once you start that delivery process, yes, you're a human. Because
when's the
I'm
delivery
forcing-
process start?
It can happen. I don't know. My cousin had a kid 4 months early because she was shooting up heroin in the bathroom. The kid fell out. I'm not even
Kid
kidding.
fell out?
Kid fell out. Got a hand out. Like I'm not even kidding.
How much? Wait, 4
Shit, a
months
lot.
early?
Yeah, he spent like 2 or 3 months in the NICU.
So she was
He was
5
supposed.
months.
He was no 3 months. He was supposed to be born end of April. He was born at the start of February. So he was almost 3 months early.
and it was alive.
He is doing his best. He is still kicking. He's just turned 6 this past year.
Because I thought the earliest recorded surviving fetus was 21 weeks
Oh,
at
he
delivery.
was 2 months. 2 months early. So I don't know how many weeks that is.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's not that that's
not
like
20
that's like
weeks.
8. It's like 8 weeks before delivery.
Yeah. It's,
Oh, all right, all right.
But
right.
like, so
Yeah.
does he not have a right because he was born early?
does he not have?
Does he not have a right to live?
No, as soon as he gets a conscious experience. Yeah, sure.
Which
happens at-
So until I'm conscious, that's when my rights enact.
Yeah, when you get a conscious experience, there's nothing there to
What?
protect until you get a conscious experience.
Can you define consciousness for us?
Yeah, define conscious. Is it like that one time I randomly woke up and was like, "Whoa"?
No, so we see that it's an emergent property of the brain when enough parts of it actually connect to each other, and there's neurons firing and connecting within the brain that create a conscious or I don't want to use consciousness in the definition of conscious, but it's an emergent property of the brain that we can see happens.
So at when on average does this happen?
16 to 20 weeks.
Okay. So a baby that was just born.
Yeah.
So if I get all right, I'm driving home. My baby's
So that's
in the backseat.
4 or 5 months old,
Yeah.
basically.
So I'm driving home. My baby that was literally born, I don't know, 8 hours ago is in the back seat. My wife's in the passenger seat. We get obliterated by a drunk driver. Do you
Destroyed.
report 2 deaths or 3 deaths?
What for that? Your baby was already born.
My baby is born.
Oh yeah, if
he
it
is
has
8 hours old, and he's in my back seat.
8. Yeah.
Or he's in the
like,
front- he's in the
he
front
has a
seat.
conscious experience at
But
way before that. Yeah.
He's saying 4 to 5 months in the womb. Yeah.
I assumed you meant 4 to 5
No.
months old.
No.
You know what? 4 to 5 months old.
No.
No, you get. Honestly, if it hits, do babies even remember anything past that? Before that?
I don't remember anything that happened 2 weeks ago.
Well, hold on. We don't have to go over your problems. Wait.
I don't remember things that happen. Like I remember events. I could not tell you what I had for dinner 3 days ago.
You want one?
If I need to ask a question.
Yeah, it's on now. It's on now.
All right. Right.
No, you're stuck in the corner.
I'm stuck in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's
Other side of the room. Back to the
Okay.
blinds.
Really?
Shut up. I was people watching.
People are getting distracted.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, he saw a blonde girl. He's like, let me get her.
Can I jump in for a second? So basically what Matt is saying, like, just to kind of reiterate everything that's been said so far, Matt's saying 4 to 5 months in the womb, that's when the first like conscious experience
That's
or
when a
like
conscious
cognitive
experience happens.
stuff
Okay.
starts happening
Okay,
with the
that's
baby.
I'll
And
take that.
basically what you're asking is like does the baby like basically what are you trying to like ask? Are you
No, that
trying
was
to
just
ask
because I was wrong.
you were
I was just wrong.
you just didn't understand what he meant.
No, I thought you meant 4 to 5 months old.
No.
Is when I had the first conscious experience.
You know what?
So I was like,
I'm going 2 years.
2 years.
2
Okay.
years old.
So at 2 years old, I get a right.
Yeah, you get a right to life.
So
Why so
Because
late?
because when babies are born, right? Babies don't remember anything below 2 years, right? Or from like 0 to 2 years
I
old, or
disagree.
4. Was it 4 years old?
Disagree.
Can I
Yeah,
can I jump
yes.
in? Can I? Yeah, sure. Finn, jump.
Oh no, I'm just saying Matt's wrong.
Okay.
No.
You're not telling me there's a soul out there in the
A
world that has
soul?
remembered anything before they were 2 years old. There's not one person in the
Not one.
world that
Not
has
one.
ever
Can I? Can
existed.
I?
Not one.
Can I jump in before you start going off again?
Yeah.
So basically, Matt, going off what you kind of just said, and Nick clearly disagrees with you in some aspects. Do you think then by like proxy, whatever you want to call it, like life matters based on like your consciousness and your memories and stuff? Because a lot of people don't remember a lot of stuff until like they're like 6 or 5, and they don't remember a lot of
What
stuff
about
when they're younger.
dementia?
What about
So that's
dementia?
basically what I was going to
So if
ask.
you
Like,
have dementia, do you lose your
So,
right to
hold
life
on,
because
hold
you
on.
don't know who you are?
hold on. Yeah, like basically, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say like with memory and all that stuff, and then people that lose memory, have dementia, like he just says, Alzheimer's and everything, and they start losing memories and they can't retain stuff. This is for both of you, not just for you. Does their life diminish compared to someone with better memory, or are they almost as equal value to another human?
All right, so
I kind of want. Can Nick go first this time?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And then you can
Yeah,
respond.
bro.
So no, because you went first the first time, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, can you repeat
So-
the question? Because I was fully prepared for him to go first.
So basically, I asked like kids that don't remember a lot of stuff
Oh
when they're
yeah,
younger,
no, of
and
course
then
they have a right to live.
yeah, no, I'm saying not just kids, but people that have dementia and Alzheimer's
Yeah.
that have hard time with memory and all that
No.
stuff. I'm asking, does their life diminish because their memories aren't as good as other people's, or is it as almost the same equal value and everything?
It's equal opportunity. There's still people, just because grandma doesn't remember her name doesn't make her not my grandma anymore.
Okay.
Just because grandma doesn't recognize my face when I walked into the nursing home doesn't mean that she's not a human anymore. She's still a person. She still has rights.
So you want to respond?
So what I'll say is, I'm gonna give you a hypothetical first. Well, I'm gonna take parts away from a human, and you tell me when they stop becoming human. Okay. I cut off both their arms and I put like bionic arms on
They're
them.
still human.
Still human. All right. Cut off both their legs, put like bionic.
They're
whatever.
still human.
All right. Their torso, put a bionic torso on.
Like an exoskeleton?
Like they're like
I don't know, like
functioning
like a
organs that are
RoboCop
just
right here.
mechanical, basically.
Still human.
Still a human. All right. Replace their heart, like mechanical heart.
Still human.
All right. What if I replace their brain with a mechanical brain?
Just their brain? Or
Yeah,
the brain and the heart? Like we're just adding things.
He's adding on the stuff.
No,
Yeah.
Now they're not.
Now they're not
Because
human, right?
They're not thinking and acting independently. They're now thinking based off of a program.
All right, so we could say that we could pinpoint that life is in the brain, right? From this analogy,
87%.
80. Where's the 13%?
87%
The big toe.
87% of their life is in their brain. Well, I'll give it 97.
Wait,
I'll
where's
give
the
you
3%? Give me the 3.
3% is the rest of your non-autonomous organs. And
So
your non-autonomous
all right.
body.
So how about this? I'll go with this. I don't replace anything. I replace everything except for the brain. Okay. This guy's 97% human, and now I have a human that's regular human right next to him. Would you devalue the 97% human?
No, they're both humans.
But one's less human.
No, he's
97% human.
He's not less human because, all right, I understand why you would say that, but like he's not less human. He still has the ability to think, and he still has the ability to process and control everything because he still has his brain, so he is in control of everything. Just because it's mechanical now,
Would you
doesn't
say
make him less
that?
human.
Would you say that consciousness defines a person, Matt? That what makes a human, like
Yeah,
the ability
consciousness
to
is
is basically where you're going.
where human
Yeah,
is
okay.
basically located.
He's basically saying like
that's
your
where the person's
He's
located.
basically saying your thoughts and memories and like your ability to be like you that comes from your brain is like that's what makes that person like human. So
I get it.
So all right, scrap the 3%, 97% human. Okay, hold on. We'll go to
There's probability here.
right.
so we're going
Well,
back. We're talking
or-
about we're talking about like dementia and Alzheimer's people.
say-
You drew
I'll-
a cat.
You like my cat?
Pretty good cat.
Thank you. Right. Say for instance. Say for instance, there's a lot of people with dementia or dementia patient or parents, right? That go and visit their mom or dad like every day, and they see them start diminishing away and away and away. Right? They stop remembering them. They stop actually like seeing them as their son. They stop remembering who they were. Right? A lot of these sons and daughters don't consider them their parents anymore because they're so far gone. Right? So when we have our experiences kind of shape who we are, and the brain breaks down so much that they aren't able to remember who they are, they're a completely different person. Right?
In a sense.
So what else?
It's re-identification.
Yep. So I think the person died. The person died when they go through that much dementia.
No.
Why not?
They re-identified their life. They have a different comprehension of who they are. It's just a different construct based off of the experience that they're seeing. They don't, just because they don't remember a lot, like somebody who gets into a car crash and loses, like you see in, obviously I'm going to reference a movie, like obviously it's not real, but like the guy who gets in the car crash forgets like, oh, I married this girl, and then he re-falls in love with her. Like you can relearn your life. And it's the same thing for a dementia patient. Just because you don't have the patience to do it and just because they're physically incapable does not mean that they didn't do what they did.
Okay, so I'll give you a hypothetical then. This guy goes in, he robs a bank, he like shoots everyone, he's like, oh, give me the money, he's like, yeah, whatever. He's got the little sack, he runs away. Hey, cops get him, right? And then like the police are like, get down. He stopped, and then he like gets charged into, and then He gets smacked on the head. Okay. Now, in court, he doesn't remember He doesn't remember who he is. He doesn't remember what he did. He doesn't remember anything. Do you think it'd be fair to charge that person with the crime that he did before,
Yes,
even though that person didn't do the crime?
he did.
The person with the memories beforehand did
The
the crime.
person who received brain damage directly by reaction of his action, which was robbing the bank, did the crime. Just because he got damaged and got hit so hard
He got
by this
demolished.
NFL lineman policeman does not mean that he didn't rob the bank just because he forgot.
Finn.
I just have a question. You would know way more about this than me, but obviously you work. I think you said criminology, right? So, in that case, can't they make claims about insanity claims for that case?
So yes and no. You can file. You 100% can file for a plea of insanity. But the basis of an insanity plea, especially, is that the person was not of, like, right decision making and like the understanding, like, oh, this guy's did this because he has schizophrenia. So like the people that take Ambien. So Ambien, if you don't know, it's like a hallucinatory drug. So there's actually lawyers specifically for people who do things when they're on Ambien. So it's like the craziness of like, oh, he did this directly because he was impaired. He did this directly because he has schizophrenia. He did this before he had dementia. So there is no legal grounds for a plea of insanity.
Gotcha. So as long as they had full comprehension of their actions before the brain injury, you believe that they still have to take the punishment of the crime that they did.
Yes,
Okay.
and I'll even go a step further, and I'll do this as an attorney. So if I was a prosecutor, I would say because it was premeditated before the injury and all of the actions and everything occurred before the injury, there is no grounds for a plea of insanity after the fact because it is a direct causation of what he did.
Okay.
Well,
Thanks for that clarity.
So what I would say, right, is for what I'm gonna go further with the example. Okay, I'm gonna go further. All right. Say when he got hit, switched personalities. Like became like instead of like the person before. He's all bitter. He's so negative all the time. And then this guy is like, hey guys, like what are you doing? And he like loses memories. Okay. Do you think that guy should still be charged with the crime before that?
Yes, but as a
personality.
prosecutor, I'll give him a break. I will give him the sentence, the original, whatever the sentence would be, but I would give him the offer of parole. And I would give him the offer of like good behavior, and we would we would push the medical field to test and really prove that this guy
This guy switched, yeah.
This guy actually had a personality switch. It's not just because he doesn't want to go to jail. So like obviously there's like the medical, like we can scan it, we can prove it, but now let's see the actual physical and see like what he can do. But we're still going to charge him because he still did the crime. It's a product of the crime. Like if he never did this, if he never robbed the bank, he doesn't get hit in the head.
Well, hopefully the officers are way more understanding next time. I think the officer should be charged, actually.
Yeah, how dare he do his job?
Right? But what I'm trying to get at is at least you can understand, to a certain extent, it's not as much of the fault as that guy. If you're going to be more lenient, right, with somebody who just had a personality switch.
No, it's still his fault. I'm just being lenient because he had a traumatic injury.
Not just the injury, not because of him, like,
No,
switching
not because
all
of the
or-
personality switch. I'm giving him leniency because, like, I'm not going to give him the death penalty.
Well, I want the death.
He robbed the bank. He's not going to get the death penalty. But, like,
So-
I'll give him the leniency in terms of I'll offer probation just because he did that. Not just because of the crime, not because... It was still premeditated. He was still in a different mindset, and he still knew what he was doing.
Well, the guy before, guy A, he knew.
Oh, great.
He turned into guy
Yeah,
B.
and Guy B forgot because
Guy
he got hit in the
B-
head so hard from Guy A, but Guy A and Guy B are the same person. There's no Guy C.
Guy
A
B
and Guy B are
like
the same person.
Guy B likes the Giants. Guy A likes the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay, you can't change
Well,
like
he's
that.
wrong.
You never change like that.
Yeah, if you change like that, it's
Nobody would do that.
over.
Coming from a Giants fan, nobody would do that.
Right? So
That's not the
you'd be like,
Seahawks.
something actually traumatic.
Yeah,
happens.
he got hit in the head because if he didn't rob that bank, he's not there to get hit in the head. He's not going to hit the head
All
on
right,
the same
so
thing.
talking about you guys talking about I don't even know where.
We're-
All right,
we're
if you want to
talking-
move on.
No, that was actually very relevant and productive.
Okay, I wasn't
You
sure.
just
I
stepped
stepped out.
away
I
for
stepped out
90%
for
of the conversation.
I didn't mean to. I had to.
No.
We had
Basically,
people that came in. I had to
Yeah,
show
yeah,
up
yeah.
for
That
them.
Liam,
sounds like an
just to
excuse.
summarize, they
Yeah.
they went off of the point that you brought up about dementia,
Yeah.
and then Matt brought up a hypothetical of a man who commits a crime, hits his head,
Yeah.
he kind of loses his sense of self, and then they're
Yeah.
debating on whether or not that person is the same person afterwards,
Yeah.
and then their accountability of the crime beforehand.
Got it. Cool.
I said he should still be charged because he did it before.
Well, talk
Yeah.
about
Well,
talk about this. Talk about like charging and crimes and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Let's go in a little bit of the law for a bit. Laws.
ton of 'em.
The first thing I'm going to ask is it ever okay to break a law?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay, so we both agree on that.
1,000,000%.
Perfect.
I do it every day.
No, it's not
that's-
allowed. It's not allowed
Are
for you to break a
kidding me?
wall.
You're
Okay,
no,
stop.
I know you
because-
jaywalk. You look like you jaywalk.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. If
Yeah.
you just said that, let's just establish. I just wanted to establish that it was just a quick answer. Just want to get into the other
No,
questions that are.
it's never
No, because
allowed.
there's no way he can even try to argue that.
Well, think about this. Think about places like Islam, right? Where law is connected to a theological aspect, right?
Oh,
And-
You're bringing up that. Like,
And
Why do I care about Islam? Well,
well,
I'm in the United States of America.
okay, hold
well,
on.
we're in a good
Stop.
place.
This is getting crazy.
Yeah, hold
you're
on.
just
This isn't
wrong.
no, I'm
Well,
not,
okay, no, I want to hear more about Islam.
yeah. So,
Why are you talking about Islam?
I don't know. He picked Islam.
No, it's relevant. It is relevant.
it's
Let him
real.
just answer.
All right.
Okay.
Isn't that's where like, never mind.
No, it's where.
Right, that where like the Jewish culture.
Is that where 9/11 happened?
No,
That's
I know
that's
that.
it's not.
Is that where the Jewish?
No.
Whoa, Islam is not in.
Israel?
Isn't
No.
Oh.
No.
No.
I thought that was where like the Jewish religion came from.
No.
Is that Israel? What's the difference?
I mean, honestly, I don't see any difference.
Okay.
Wait, no, because I'm not joking. What is actually the
I
difference?
trust me. I believe you're not joking.
I'm horrible with geography.
Yeah, me
Clearly.
I can name you all the stands in Europe, though, but I can't,
Awesome.
I can't tell you where. But all right,
All
back
right,
to
wait. So it's
Islam.
so law is connected to God, right?
No, God's not real.
Well, God is real.
No.
God is real.
Wrong.
I don't
God
want
is
I don't want
real?
to debate such a factual
Wrong.
claim.
Factual. Look at you. You don't believe in God.
Yeah, I do.
Bro's wearing a shirt that has a Muslim saying on it. so not Allah.
Least
dude.
obvious Islam supporter.
Trust me when I say this. You look for the signs; they're there.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, God and ghosts. Neither of them are real.
Do you not believe in ghosts either?
No.
Have you lived under a rock your whole
Okay.
life?
All right.
never lived
Let's
with a ghost.
let's pull it
If a
back.
ghost
Okay,
is in
yeah.
Okay, hold on, let's pull it back for a
Yeah,
minute.
back to law.
So,
Yep.
So basically, asking what was asked before you started talking about Islam, and he started bringing up Israel for some reason.
They're the same. They're the same.
No. No.
What's going on with Islam?
Talking about law, I was going to ask. So you both agreed that it's okay to break the law sometimes. Great, awesome.
It's a religion.
Yeah. Islam?
Yes.
I thought it was a place.
No.
Oh,
Yo, they're sending their brightest.
that's why I brought
You're
up.
great.
Yeah, that's why I brought up Israel because I thought
No.
thought they were both places.
No. One's a place. One's a religion.
I
Man.
did know that. It was 7th grade history class.
Yeah,
Miss
you-
DeVito taught me about
You
Islam.
really pay attention.
She loved a good Diet Coke and a salad.
No, that's good.
She knows what's good.
She was on Weight Watchers.
Okay, I want to dive in before we're talking about like
Yep.
life and importance of life and everything like that. What I was going to ask you is murder okay in the right circumstances?
Well, murder by definition is the unjust killing of
Okay.
someone.
Well,
so
killing
Murder's
someone,
okay.
So is killing someone? Is there?
is there ever a case where you're allowed to kill someone?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, of course.
Duh.
If they disagree with you, you know, if
If they breathe weird.
Yep.
If they mouth breathe.
honestly,
If they mouth breathe, you're done. You have no chance.
but for real, like if somebody's like threatening your life with like lethal intent, lethal
Yeah.
force, like I'm gonna like the guy in the Walmart video, like I'm gonna kill you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We had
Like
very
you have a
different
right
war
to
fan
defend yourself
experiences.
with lethal force. Okay.
Give me your gun.
Would you agree, Nick?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
100% you have to kill somebody. If it has to happen, I'm going to do it. Even if it doesn't have to happen, even if they're not threatening me with lethal force. If I need to step over you, like if somebody
Yeah.
kidnapped my mother,
Well, yeah. So you're saying
I'll
like,
I'll kill
yeah, so
1,000
someone like
people. I don't
was
care.
trying to
1,000?
If
What
that's
about
what it
my
takes.
mom? Would you do the same?
For your mom?
Yeah.
I don't know your mom like that, but I'm sure she's a nice
What's
lady.
your problem?
Well, think,
So-
well, all right,
so
if your mom was kidnapped, would you kill 1,000 people?
If my mom was kidnapped, no, I'd probably report to the authorities
you
about
wouldn't.
where she's going.
You're boring.
And I would do the right thing.
You're boring. The right thing is
so
getting my mom back.
so basically.
I'd kill you for my mom.
Okay.
If she asked,
You can't. You can't kill me.
who's going to stop me?
Shut
the
up.
camel on your
Shut
shirt?
up. Both of you be quiet.
Okay.
You both talked about, you still say murder's okay on the right circumstances. Basically saying if someone will harm you or someone try to kidnap someone that you
No,
love.
I think
that-
there's a lot more layers to it that make it acceptable.
Okay, no, I'm just saying that's
Like, say-
basically like what you're trying to say. But like, let's say someone was trying to steal something from your store. Let's say that you own a store and someone went in there and stole your candy bar, and then someone shot them. Do you think that's like a fair thing?
What was he wearing?
A black
it's a-
hoodie,
it's a
and his
dollar-
name was Matt Kiskin.
No,
Hold
it's
on.
a dollar candy bar. It's not. You shouldn't
So-
kill somebody over a dollar.
So would you say it depends on the amount of money that they're stealing, whether or not they're morally permissible?
No,
to be
all
killed?
right. If he pulls a gun on me over a dollar candy bar, I'm shooting him back.
What is like? All right, he comes
What's
into
an
your,
acceptable amount of money to die over? I don't know. At least 10 grand.
all right,
If you owe me
9K.
If you, I'll do it for 9. If you no 5 Hold on, 5 to like 9 grand. I'm gonna threaten your life multiple times. I'm gonna
Oh my
threaten some
gosh.
people. But if it's 10 grand plus, I'm coming for you. Like you're getting
Like-
this isn't 3 strikes, you're out.
Like some guy online, like he took your money, he stole from your bank account.
I'm showing up
and
at his
then
house.
You're showing up and
100%.
killing him.
I'm showing up. So you're giving me 8 grand. That it's a
8
price.
grand?
No,
He
he's
takes two.
stealing your money.
Yeah.
He's saying.
Oh, so we're. Oh,
yeah,
well, okay.
he
So-
online. He goes into your bank account. He sees that you have like $11,000.
He's not
he takes
giving you
10,000.
money to kill him.
What program did he use? Because if he used Venmo or PayPal, I'm not getting it back. But if he used Cash App, I can get. I'm not even kidding.
He used the Bitcoin.
I don't use.
All right, wait.
I should die for using Bitcoin.
Okay. He took it from whatever you're able to
He
track
took
him from.
$11,000 from me.
Yep.
And I had 11,000 in my bank account.
He left $1 in there.
I'm willing to kill you for that $11,000 back. That's
Okay.
everything I have.
What if it was just like? What if it was half of what you got? 5,000.
I'll put in a great deal of effort to get that back, but I'm not. I
Like
might not
you'll
kill
like
you.
hit his head a few times, but if he's not giving it back, like you'll just you'll.
No, I'm gonna
You'll
hold
bug
him.
off.
I'm gonna hit him in the head,
alright.
and I'm gonna hold him until I get my $5,000. But I'm not gonna like walk in there guns a blazing because you owe me.
Until
Like, even
until
if-
it gets
even
to
if it's
10,
50.
if it gets to 10 grand, you'll go in there. And kill
Well,
him.
no, but I'm not gonna kill you right away because if you're dead, you can't give me my money.
So you're gonna torture him?
Guys,
I'll
there's an officer outside the studio.
He's waiting.
like if say you owe me 11 grand,
Mm-hmm.
Liam's your best friend. I'll kill him.
Well, one of these premises is
Not true.
I'll kill him.
you'll kill
I'll kill him
He
until
didn't
I
do
get.
anything.
You like him. That's all that matters.
What if I stopped liking him?
I'll take somebody else.
I hate everyone.
There's some button. There's something I can take.
All right. So
Everybody has a button
say
that will push them over the edge.
all right.
This is saying everybody has a price.
This is kind of going on the thing of revenge, right? It's kind of like you did something bad to me, I do something bad to you,
100%
right?
eye for an eye.
Eye for an eye. You're like eye for an eye.
100%. If it happens, I will get you back. It's not when, it's will.
Oh my god.
That's how it is. That's how
Alright.
life is.
Well, it doesn't have to.
It's
be
just
that
because
way.
it's the only reason it's not eye for an eye makes a whole world blind is because people don't believe in eye for an eye. I do.
Well, say about this. Like,
You hurt me, I hurt you.
yeah, somebody kills your brother if you have a brother. All right, kills your brother. And
I'll kill the whole family.
actually based, but
I'll kill the whole family. I will kill-
the entire family didn't
I
like
don't
they didn't do
care.
anything.
I don't care.
You don't care?
You took something that's important to me. I'm going to take everything that's important to you.
Do you think there's a difference between understandable acts and correct acts?
I think that's understandable to the right person.
Yeah, well,
like
yeah,
if I
like
saw
say-
in the news, guy kills family of 4 because brother was murdered, I'm saying that's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, same, like
it was worth it. It's worth going to jail for my entire life because you killed my brother, and I got you back. It's worth it.
Yeah, so I like to bring up the example of the dad and the kid in the park. If you ever heard this one, a guy comes up to them and punches the kid. Right, the dad.
I'm sending you to the hospital.
The dad wants to like. It's completely understandable for the dad to be like, "I am going to like kill you right now."
100%.
Right? It's understandable, but it's not the right reaction to have. It's not the correct one.
Well,
The correct one is like
Don't
getting
punch my
away.
kid.
Yeah,
No, that's not the
it's
correct
like,
answer.
Yeah, and then it's like
you got to stand up for
Right.
yourself. There's a reason we have a manslaughter and a murder. Like if that dad killed that guy, it's manslaughter, not murder.
because he was so rage filled.
Literally, it's the term "seeing red."
Trust
So
me,
there's the reason we have the difference.
Right, but we shouldn't say that something understandable like that. Well, obviously, like he can't control as much if he's like super adrenaline induced and
You punched my
you're-
child
yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
face.
You punched. All
I'm
right.
gonna
So say it's
strangle
an
you till you
say it's
turn
an eye for an
purple.
eye. It's an eye for an eye.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you punch him once?
Yo, what more?
But that's more than an eye. That's like a leg and
He
an
hit a
arm
child.
and like a.
He had a child. There's a different line. If he punched this guy in the face, I'm gonna punch him back in the face and be like, "Don't hit my friend." But if my kid's sitting there and some grown man who I've never seen walks up and punches my kid in the face, he's going to the hospital.
And that's the
an
right thing to do.
That 100%. At the moment, it is. You
Say-
look
say
back
you
10
had-
years later, maybe I shouldn't have sent him to the hospital, or even in like 3 weeks, guys suing me. Maybe I shouldn't have sent him to the hospital, but he 100% deserved it.
Deserved it and understandable, but not right.
It is right. In the moment,
is
it's
right?
It's
Like-
right.
like
to
if-
me, it's right because I'm defending myself, and I'm especially defending my child.
So you have you have a knife on you.
I'm
And
stabbing him
You're stabbing him.
I'm stabbing him.
Where?
in the leg, and I'm
In
missing
the
his
leg?
artery. I'm
No,
missing
you're
his
seeing
femoral
red.
artery.
You can't know where you're stabbing him.
No, I do.
And you stab him in the heart.
No, I'm.
And you kill him.
It.
Why'd you do that?
I'm realistically, I'm going for his knee, and I'm slicing one of his ligaments.
Okay,
'Cause
wait.
then he can walk.
I have a quick question, just a real quick hypothetical
I have
for you.
thought of everything.
Okay, this guy knows everything.
He's
How
he's
much
done
money do I
everything.
have in my pocket?
How much? Probably like $7 in a pack. of
I have
cigarettes.
nothing. You got the pack of cigarettes right though.
No.
Okay, all right. So I want to bring it back to an example we talked about earlier because this is really interesting. So that guy punches your child. You beat the shit out of him.
100%.
He falls to the ground. Okay, we're gonna go back to this dementia thing because it's actually I really want to know how this works. He then forgets everything that just happened
walking
previously.
away.
Does he have the right then, because he doesn't know why you're beating the shit out of him, for him to go ahead and kill you because you're beating him?
Well, he has the right to defend himself whether he has the traumatic head injury that causes
Okay.
dementia or not. So legally, as soon as I hit you and you hit me back, you're fine.
Okay.
So because he hit my kid, that also brings up a good point. If my kid is under the age of we'll say this guy's like 36, whatever, pretty average middle-aged man. If my kid's under the age of 16 and he punches my kid in the face, it is my self-defense. So I won't get in trouble for hitting him back. Will he definitely sue me and he'll win in civil court, but criminally I cannot get in trouble
Okay. Okay.
because
But
my kid doesn't have the legal right to defend himself.
is when he forgets what happened, does that mean that his right to be able to defend himself? I know you're saying because like as long as somebody hits you, you have the right to, but like just morally, does he still have the right? Because you believe in like eye for an eye, right? So do you believe that he has the right to punish you back for hitting him, even though he doesn't remember why he's even getting hit
In the
first
moment,
place?
yeah.
Okay.
Because, whoa, why are you hitting me? I don't
Right,
even know what
okay.
happened. Why are you hitting me? It's like drunk people.
Okay.
So you're, basically,
Like-
what you're saying is like it's okay if he fights back at that point because he doesn't remember.
Yeah,
but
because
if he did remember, he shouldn't be fighting back. He should be taking it.
No, he still does.
I
No,
wish
he
he
still
should.
is able to self-defend.
I wish he would fight back.
Okay.
Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like,
I just
sorry,
want
hit
to
you really
make sure.
hard.
I just want to clarify that.
No,
yeah.
I'd be a little satisfactory that he forgot why. I hit him so hard he forgot.
Yeah.
But no, 100% he should defend himself.
Yeah.
Right. I was just wondering if him forgetting cleanses him of the moral
no.
action he did before.
He'll win a lot more money if that happens. Like a lot more money in civil court because now we can go give him a CT and an MRI and now this guy's like, oh, he gave me a brain injury? Yeah,
Ooh.
that's another at
Okay.
least 500 grand added to that lawsuit.
So going into a different topic now, because I think we're talking about still like
we were talking about prison.
talking about prison,
death penalty.
and
I
death
love the
penalty.
death penalty. I think
So-
it should be given out more than it is.
I was going to ask, what do you guys think about the death penalty? And because I know certain states have it, certain states don't have it. Do you think it's actually like morally correct
Death
to have the
penalty hasn't
death?
been used in a long time. I think there was going to be a
not true.
recent case. There was going to be a recent one, it being used again, right? But I think there was
Electric chair.
a lot of people
Oh, no, no,
speaking
no.
out against it.
That was just 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I'll tell you why. I remember talking about this. So they gave him lethal injection,
Yeah.
and he lived. And they said, "Whoa, what did we do?" So they put him back on death row, and now he's up for the electric chair. Because they thought, oh, lethal injection, that usually 99% of the time it works, but this time he lived it. And now people are like, whoa, like you served him his punishment, he should be free.
Because he took it.
He
and
did it.
He survived.
Like it's your fault. The people are thinking like,
That's
it's
like
your fault.
that's
you
like
messed
trying
up.
to hang a guy for like death row, and then the rope snaps as you pull the lever. And it's like, well, he survived it. So.
Yeah, no, but they had him down. They gave him the
Yeah.
shot, and he was fine.
Yeah. Well,
And now they're like, oh, you can't give him a second one because you messed up. So that's what this whole controversy.
I don't know
is.
about that. I think you should just still.
You know,
Get
I
it.
honestly,
you're there for a reason.
honestly, we could do the death penalty, but
I think we can make fire
not
squad.
like, but not kill the person, right? So we can like,
What?
we can like, you know,
So
do
life
enough
in prison?
damage to like stop their heart, and then use the defibrillators, like bring them back, right?
But then
Do you think
that
that-
brings the question: did they serve a life sentence?
Did they? Their life got sentenced,
But
alright.
did they serve? Like, if I have a life sentence, I have a. All right, I'm gonna out myself here. I have a severe allergy to peanuts, like a life-threatening allergy to
you don't
peanuts.
say.
Yeah, right. So if I'm in prison, and this is the reason I can't join any sort of military is because I'm considered disabled in the eyes of the military because of my peanut allergy and their MREs. So if there's nothing to eat and they accidentally serve me a peanut, or an inmate puts a peanut in my sandwich and I die, but they bring me back because they have epinephrine, did I serve my life sentence?
Yeah. Yep. You died and came back.
I was in prison for 3 weeks
So.
because the
died.
inmates didn't know.
Well,
So
this
did
is
I serve?
this is
I'm
conflation
supposed
of
to be
terms.
serving a life
Conflation.
sentence.
Wait, but Matt, earlier you said if someone has such bad cognitive damage that if they lose all sense of self to themselves, you think that they died. So in your case, do you believe if somebody got a traumatic brain injury in prison and they forget themselves, they serve their life sentence?
Yeah, I think it's just a completely different person.
So you think that all prisoners should
completely
just
different
jump off their top bunk head first and
That's
just serve their
not
life
what people would
sentence?
do.
So if I
Actually, maybe they would.
I'm telling you right now, if I was in prison, that's what I'm doing.
You're jumping off the top
If
one.
I'm in prison for 90 years, I'm dead. I'm beating someone up so bad, and I'm offending so many gangs that somebody's gonna want me dead. Because I'm
you're-
not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with that.
Well,
It's
there's
what's called a
there's a lot
backdoor
of different
parole.
There's a lot of different prisons that people can go to, different levels of prisons. There's, like there's like I don't know. There's like very low offenses.
I have
that
a great
people-
moral question that is relevant to this after.
All right, hold on. Back to the death penalty real fast. Could you agree that it's more expensive to kill people than keep them in prison?
No, a bullet is not very expensive.
Well, we don't do bullets. And
That's not execution style.
Yeah, like you're telling me I could make one guillotine for maybe $250 and I can use it 100,000 times? I'm doing that.
well, that's not where
That's
all the
cheap.
that's not where all the money goes. It goes to like courts. Like there takes
Right.
a lot of time to
100%.
like figure out where people are going or if they're actually guilty or not.
I say
and
we speed up
there's-
the process, screw the right
Well-
to a speedy and fair trial, and screw double jeopardy. No, actually, that's a good one. But screw the right to
I was about to say you're going.
once
You
you
saying
have
just
your
jump right
trial.
to the
Once you're
to-
given the death penalty, especially if it's a clear-cut case, it should happen instantly.
well, people given when you're saying
What happens
especially
what happens if you're like they convict you and all that stuff and then it's not
Right, but I'm just
And
saying
you're-
for
and you're
clear
actually
cut cases.
innocent.
Like if somebody were to very clearly on CCTV and has confessed to killing 7 people,
Yeah.
and he lined up and went bang bang, got 7 people and said I did this,
yeah
and obviously that's it depends on the type of people, the why, and he qualifies for a death penalty.
okay
Why are we waiting? Why does he get 30 extra years of time in prison? Because
do you
we
think
can't
that?
afford it.
Well, it depends on what the reason of prison you think is. Do you think prison is there for punishment, or do you think it's there for rehabilitation?
So there's actually that's the idea of restorative justice. They're different. So people and attorneys and judges who believe in restorative justice will always avoid prison as the first option.
Mm-hmm.
So while there are reformative programs and restorative programs, the idea of restorative justice is that just because, all right, you do a lot of crack,
Yeah.
you did a lot of crimes.
How do you know
right?
this?
Like you did.
How do you know I do this?
You did so many crimes on this crack, but
Mhm.
I'm not going to put you away for these crimes because of your crack. I'm putting you in rehab.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to monitor you for 3 years. So instead of the 20 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars in damages I caused, because this judge believes in restorative justice, I'm not going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do crack.
Firstly, I think that drugs are usually a medical problem, right? I'd consider them a medical problem. Why? Because addiction is a medical issue.
Yes.
Where
yes.
you don't have really choices in what you're doing, depending on.
What are you
What are you waiting at?
What are you waving
She
at,
disagrees
bro?
with you over there. Jump on real quick.
So you're,
What are you gonna tell me? What you want to say, and I'll just say it for you.
Right.
So he, in a sense, he is right, but that I can take that psychologically. But I'm not. You keep going.
Right. So there's a lot of
gallery is having to spaz out in the world.
there's a lot of there's like addictive issues in which people don't really have as much of a choice per se that to stop using a drug versus like continuing to use it.
How is it not a choice?
So it's environmentally deterministic based on how your hormones react to
Leave the environment.
Leave the well.
Because
it doesn't.
You do have a choice. Just because you're surrounded by it every day doesn't mean that you have to do it. And just because you do it does not mean you don't have the option to get out of it.
So you could say that they have a choice, right? And I could say that they have a choice. Now, when we start to talk about limited choices and what they actually think personally that their options are, we can say in their brain that they think that this is the right thing to do, right? And they want to keep doing this because it makes me feel bad when I stop taking heroin, all this like psychological, physical withdrawals, right? And so...
Well, heroin's not a stimulant, but it's okay.
All right. My bad. I got
It's close enough. It's a
Right.
it's a sedative, so it'll really make you feel really like you ever seen. Oh, I don't imagine you often can recognize it as heroin when you see it, but the people that like stand up on the street and they just kind of like droop.
Oh,
and they kinda
the
fall
fent drop.
over. Well, yeah. Well, if you get to that point, you're cooked already. But which is not even fully fentanyl. Like the fent drop you're talking about, that's only because it's laced, and it's literally 2 grams of sand is enough to make you drop like that.
Sand.
Yeah, or not sand. 2 grains of salt is like enough, like a table salt, like how small those are, or even like one of those little Himalayan Himalayan pink salt rocks. That's enough to kill you, pretty much. Of fentanyl.
Is it because it's mixed with is it like benzidine or something like that? Or
There's a lot of things.
Yeah, there's
you
a
mix
lot
it
of-
with.
yeah,
I mean, I know a guy going back to my sophomore year of high school. He was a big time weed dealer, but one of the carts he gave this kid, it had what was it? It was weed, gasoline, heroin, cocaine, and something else, and like that was just in a cart.
Sounds like a guy.
He was, yeah, he actually did die.
Yeah,
that
where'd he
day,
get
but He
that?
came back. I don't know. You can hit him up. He's actually back in Connecticut now. He had to move to Jersey after he got out of prison. He sold shoes for a little bit. Not relevant, but
Wait, I really like this conversation you guys are having about if taking drugs is a choice, but I just want
It
to
is.
ask, just
ooh,
a little
depends on the drug. An
Okay.
opioid, an opium, they're not. That's not a choice.
if it's prescribed or just in general.
Correct. Like I'm talking about, opioids in general. If you're buying opioids like off the market, that's your choice. But like, so I had Tommy John surgery. So I play baseball. I tore a ligament in my elbow. My family has a huge history with addiction, so they offered me Tramadol. So it's the painkiller removed from the addictive compound. So it's not as necessarily strong as Oxy, but it will not get me addicted, which is why we had that option. So like if it's doctor prescribed, that's not necessarily a choice.
Because sometimes you have to follow the doctor's recommendation.
No, you don't
Because
have to.
You don't have
No,
to.
you will
You don't
because
have
they
to.
will. Well, in some cases they will
really
stop
suck.
treatment if you
Wait,
don't.
Yeah, but you
No,
have that
don't-
choice.
well, that's a painkiller, so no, they can't. And if
Oh,
a
they
doctor,
can't actually do
if
that?
a
They
Okay.
can't
doctor
force you to
does
take that. No.
refuse
Okay,
treatment
okay.
because you said no to Oxy, you actually have a really huge civil law and criminal
Oh,
lawsuit.
okay.
So
Yeah.
not only will that doctor and hospital probably lose a lot of money, that doctor will lose his license to go to prison.
Gotcha. Okay.
And whoever refused him treatment will also lose a lot of money and go to prison.
Understandable.
So back to the choice thing real
Yes,
fast.
it's not a choice to be
yeah.
addicted.
Right. When you're addicted, you're further and further down the rabbit hole. That you're less likely to make that kind of choice to escape that sort of lifestyle, right?
Kind of.
Same way, like if I play like Fortnite all my life, right, and then my friend
It's
gives
not
me the choice
addiction.
to go out my, it's an addiction. Oh, trust me,
Video
it's an
games
addiction.
is not an addiction.
It's an addiction. You wait. Have you played Fortnite all your life?
I played Fortnite when it came out, and
Mm-hmm.
I stopped playing around, I want to say 2021.
Yeah, you have no clue. It's all right.
No, because it got really, really bad.
Okay.
It was a
Well,
really, really bad
we
game.
can't make bad claims like this. I
was
will.
a
I won't.
Really, really
Okay,
bad. It
so-
is still a really, really
so,
bad game.
So real quick, so just to kind of reiterate what you both saying, just so I can understand, you're saying what, Matt, basically about drugs and all that. You're saying that
I'm saying it's a medical issue instead of one that is.
it's not a choice.
you're saying it's a medical
Yeah,
issue.
you get addicted to it, and
Yeah.
therefore you have less of a choice the more you get into it
Yeah.
because of certain.
Yeah, and then
chemical
you're
reactions.
basically saying that
You have a choice,
you have
it's
full
just
choice.
harder.
You have
It's
full
just so
choice,
much
and that basically like anyone could just
I
quit.
can disagree with him off of
Yeah.
personal experience alone.
Yeah,
Well, I have personal experience.
Like
too.
my grandma's been pill pushing for 45 years.
Mm-hmm.
She's somehow magically still alive. But my cousin was the one who had
Yep.
the baby prematurely,
That guy.
born addicted to heroin.
yep.
So in the NICU, addicted to heroin and cocaine magically. And so she has had countless battles with DCF. And I mean tons of them. And she was given the choice to stop doing drugs or she will lose her kid. She said no. She said, I'll stop. She stopped for 2 weeks. She checked herself. She's been to rehab 5 times.
Yep.
And she said, yeah, no, this isn't for me. And she started doing drugs again. She lost full custody of her child.
Okay.
So it is. a
yeah.
choice.
All right. So when you
Yeah,
say
but like at the same time, she it's a hard thing to kick.
It really wasn't because she
Yeah.
was fine for about 2 weeks after. She said, I miss it. I want to. This isn't for me. I don't like being sober. I don't
Well,
like having to work.
I think
Yeah.
personally,
I don't,
I
like-
think different people have different issues with substances and stuff. I think that
I mean, she's been doing substances since she was 13.
no,
She's
yeah, I think people have
7
like
now.
different reactions and stuff. I think that's what makes people very unique in their own way. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that it can't be cut and dry. Same case for
Obviously.
everyone else. So.
But to argue that it's, or to have a finite statement that it's not a choice is wrong.
it's less than, all right. So when you say choice, right? When you're when she was making that decision, right, to see your kids or continue drugs, right? Do you think that's the same probability of me flipping heads or tails coin?
Not close.
Not even close, right?
You're comparing a 50-50 guaranteed to many environmental factors and past reasons of and proof of her quitting.
Yeah. Yeah, I would totally agree, right? So when you limit these choices down, they could seem like equal choices, but in reality, they're not equal choices at all. So it's going to be way harder to choose the kids in this example versus the drugs in this example, right? So it's probably like, I don't know, I'll just ballpark some random numbers, like 90-10. Like, all right, fine. 80. I'll give you 85-15.
In favor of which way?
Drugs versus the
80
kids.
80. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, no, you were like 99-1. Like
Yeah, right?
You were like
Like,
99-1.
so-
But this was after she was clean. But even then, like, she obviously doesn't listen. She still has visitation. She just didn't want custody. That was her problem. She didn't want to raise the kid because she would have had to get a job. She would have had to live a normal life. She would have had to especially leave her neo-Nazi KKK member boyfriend, which is
What?
a completely actually a real factor. He is a neo-Nazi. He is in the KKK, and she would have had to leave him, and she didn't want to do that either. So there were a lot of things that influenced her, and just by rhyme and reason, she went back to doing drugs because
Yep.
he was also one of her suppliers.
Yeah, so I wouldn't call this like, this wouldn't be a fair choice, right? I wouldn't say this is a fair choice. Calling them both equal choices.
That's not. No, that's
Yeah.
wrong.
Right.
Saying it's,
Yeah.
saying any drug versus lifestyle is an equal choice. It's not. You're comparing like the worst of it, which is a drug addiction, to living a normal life.
Well, now I have a question. Since we're talking about like drug addiction and all that stuff and everything like that, we're talking about law a little bit with it too. Do you think that the laws against people that are addicted to drugs and alcohol are stricter or less, or should be, or too strict, or just fine the way they are right now?
I think it's a mix of both, because I think it's definitely, which has been really good as of lately, is situational and contextual, because we're not necessarily comparing we are those who have been addicted and those who just got really high and did something stupid, like a drunk driver. He's not necessarily an alcoholic. Like it could be a college kid that was just
Well, college kids, you know how that is.
you're not an alcoholic till you leave college. But like you cannot be an alcoholic until you leave college. But like even a college kid, like just like a freshman, like he got too drunk and he hit somebody and he killed somebody. That's not the same as a 36-year-old man who has had 7 DUIs. Like he should
like
be punished.
repeatable offenses. Yeah.
Like
Right.
that's an addiction. That's alcoholism. That's versus just making a stupid mistake while you were high.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely done a really good job of being contextual, but I think it could be
Well, basically to like even like break down the question even more, like, do you think that how they like process people that have issues with drug addiction and all this and throw them in jail and all that, do you think that's a fair way to handle it, or do you think that there should be better ways to handle that
This
situation?
goes back to us talking about restorative justice.
Mm-hmm.
It's so different. It's
Yeah.
a case by case basis, and
Mhm.
it's a judge by judge and an attorney by attorney thing.
Mhm.
Like there's so many confounding variables
Yeah.
that there's no way to even like prove. Well, there's ways to prove you're an addict, but there's just no way that we can like understand like, hey, you're actually suffering from a disability, because
Okay.
addiction is now labeled as a disability.
Really?
Addiction is a legal and medical disability.
All right.
And
Good to know.
there are also genes. So there are addictive genes.
Yeah,
that are
there's
built within
genes
your
that
system.
so
So it is a real disability. now,
Yeah.
which is why I
All right,
completely
let them
disagree with
finish real
your,
quick.
Yeah, that's
it being a choice.
Yeah, well, I said it's not a choice.
That's what I mean. I disagree
Yeah.
that you think it's not a choice.
Oh, that it's not a choice?
Yeah.
Just
Just because you're disabled, like
like you.
come on.
How about
you can
can
still
you
get over the
but you
hump.
do agree it's less of a choice? How about that?
I
A lot less of a choice. Major less of a choice.
no.
Well,
You lost me. Like you're not gonna swing me on that. You just can't.
Go ahead.
From
Mike.
what I've seen. Go.
Yeah,
Go.
Finn has a
Come on.
question.
Okay, I have a question. I'm also going to give an example afterwards, so just give me a second. I want to actually know both of your answers. So first of all, my question is, do you believe that there can be an ethical drug dealer? And I just don't mean a pharmacist, like that, like, because technically they are a drug dealer, but I mean like someone on the street. My example is that there is a woman out there who does in fact sell fentanyl out of her home. She makes it at home. But what she will do is she'll find people who are suffering, who cannot afford it themselves, who are suffering from the symptoms. She gives them a place to stay. She gives them a right amount so that they make sure that they don't overdose. And in the fact that they do, because obviously it's synthetic, so it's really hard to judge, she will deliver like Narcan. She will have people sit around, make sure that they're okay. So do you believe in that case that there could be a chance for someone to be an ethical drug dealer?
No, because we actually do have those. So there are like legal medical stations where if you go, it is completely
in San
John
Francisco.
Doe. Yeah, they're everywhere, and they've been around. I want to say since at least as early as 2013, or as late as 2013. And you literally can go in there, in a room, shoot up as many drugs as you want, and they'll bring you back. They'll make sure you're all right, put you back on the street. So they don't provide anything, but they are safe.
Well, they
havens.
provide clean
Well, they
needles
provide-
and
yeah.
everything like that.
So it's
So you have to bring it yourself.
yeah.
you can bring your own drugs basically. It's BYOD.
Okay.
But
So
there are
so the
safe
difference
havens.
between there is that the person, in my
They're not
example, is
providing
actually
it.
giving it to them.
Which fentanyl is where you really cross the line because there's such a strong difference between medical fentanyl and normal fentanyl. And which even first off, she would have to have 2 different locations for where she is processing the fentanyl because uncut fentanyl, even just the smell of it will kill you because
Right,
there's
yeah,
that
she
much
said
in the
that.
air.
Yep.
So like it's very different in that regards. But I mean, if you go to a drug like OxyContin and oxycodone, like that is you can get away with that. Like it is a not necessarily a prescribed dose, but you can make those on your own and you can control it. So I think yeah. And depending on the
Kiskin.
drug.
So your answer is
Depends
no,
on the drug.
and it depends if they're giving it to them or not. But like outside of that, like, do you think that they can make a moral statement that they're better than other people who just sell it on the street and don't give a fuck
I think
like, what
it's
people do?
definitely can be better,
Okay.
but like we're also comparing like
Yeah, right.
Jimmy who just needs money and will sell to the person who's falling over versus like Susan who doesn't need the money but just wants to help people.
Okay. Yeah. Just
Kiskin.
Kiskin
Right. Yeah, what I'll say is that there's definitely people that are more ethical than others, depending on like who they're selling to and what they're selling, right? Like the person that's selling to kids and also like lacing like everything like weed with fentanyl in it or something like that. Like those people are morally abhorrent compared to the people that are either taking the customers that those people could be getting and putting them into like a group where they're like in a safer environment where they're not actually getting drugs that are like laced or they know they're drug dealers. It's not like the kids, right? It's like there's definitely a more ethical drug dealer. Now, when I say drug dealers are ethical, I think it depends on the drug you're selling. I think it really depends.
Okay. So you guys kind of agree in the same way that there's a possibility of someone, but do you not believe in the concept that someone could claim themselves that they are an ethical drug dealer? Like that themselves, like can they, and not as like what his example was, where like there is a place where you can go and shoot up, but like somebody who isn't sponsored or anything like that.
Yeah, like on the street sells drugs to like people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there could be an ethical one, depending on the drugs that they sell. If they're not selling like very highly addictive drugs that will like ruin people's lives, or they're just like a weed dealer, like that's completely fine, honestly. But yeah,
Okay, that's really interesting because I know, just a question. I know this is different, but I know you have a problem with people smoking cigarettes, especially people that you're close to. No. So, no, really. Okay, but I just want to ask. So in that case, because you're personally connected to this person, you may believe that like it's kind of unethical for you to allow them to perpetuate that bad habit, right? But
I have a greater obligation.
Wouldn't that ethical drug dealer anyways be perpetuating a bad habit? So wouldn't you then say that that's like that's wrong to do?
well, at least for the case that I gave for smoking weed, I don't think that's a bad habit. I don't think that's a bad habit at all.
But why is
Smoking
cigarettes?
weed doesn't
why
really,
is
like-
cigarettes
They're highly addictive,
Like
and
e-cigs?
will kill you.
like
No, just
cigarettes in general?
Well, like
So you saying
chain
cannabis
Yeah.
isn't addictive?
No,
It
that's not what I said.
Not
It
oh,
is.
okay. I
It
thought
is.
that's what you were saying.
Weed is addictive.
Yeah,
Like,
I
there's
agree.
Properties. No,
Yeah, it
like
is.
it's been proven.
Yeah.
And they're
But that's not even a bad. Like weed's not bad for you.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
yeah. Why are you saying that?
No, dude, I didn't
hold
even
on.
say that.
So like when you go to weed, like there's such a strong difference between weed and even something as simple as like Bengay or something as simple as ketamine. Like weed is not bad for you.
Right.
So I think if it's
Well,
a
it
weed
depends
dealer,
what age you're at, because if your brain's developing, it can be.
Yeah, well,
But that's
we're
yeah.
assuming this person's 21.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's not bad.
Right.
So like, well, it can be bad. Depends on the strand. Depends on the product it was grown in, like the environment, the climate control. Like if it's done right, it's. I'd argue it could be good for you.
Right. The thing that I asked Kiskin when you were gone is that he and don't let me speak for you. So if I'm saying this wrong,
I'll
tell
let
me
you
I'm
know
right.
if you're misconstrued.
You have an assumption that if your friend is smoking cigarettes, that it's probably bad for you to just let them do it and like let them keep doing this
Allow them
behavior
to
when you know
perpetuate.
it can negatively affect their health.
Appeasement. That's what that is. It's appeasement. It's the same reason Hitler got all those countries. Don't do that. Oh, I'm gonna do it. Oh, okay. We won't take that one. I'm gonna take Austria-Hungary. Don't do that. Nah, you took it. Whatever. Don't do that one. Oh, okay. I'll take the Czech Republic. Well, why? All right, fine, whatever. I don't care. Don't take Poland. I said, your last straw's Poland. I'm gonna take Poland. I took Poland. What are you gonna do? And he got his butt kicked.
Yeah.
Like, so that's what it is. So it's to a point.
Right. Okay. And I was just asking because in relation to the ethical drug dealer, because they are reinforcing a bad habit that could be detrimental to the person's health. But you said that there is a possibility for them to be a moral drug dealer.
A moral one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not lacing stuff. They're obviously they are giving ethical drugs instead of like, or things that I consider to be ethical drugs instead of like, obviously the harder ones. They're heroin, coke, all of these like highly addictive ones. Weed is not highly addictive, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Snoop Dogg.
He stopped
Snoop Dogg?
smoking.
Not see the advertisement.
For a second, that Snoop Dogg stopped. Yeah, he says that. He's no chance.
Anyways, you guys want to roll up after this?
So I think we're gonna wrap it up right now. We'll probably do a part 2 if you're down.
I'm so down.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
But this has been the Lounge Around Podcast. Your host Liam Saranich. Thank you to my co-host Matt for being here,
Thank you.
and special thanks to Nick for coming down from Mitchell College to come debate Matt.
Love leaving that
We'll probably
place.
get into more of the other stuff I had written down, but we couldn't get all through it tonight. So we'll probably do a part 2. But
Gotcha.
thank you and good night.
Under ultraviolet or blue light.
Right there, mate. You're listening to the Lounge Around podcast. Stick around for more.